Welcome to this edition of DIY3DTech.com. In this episode, we're going to take a look at something a little bit more into the practical lines of 3D printing. As after watching one of Chuck Hellebuck's recent episodes, it kind of got me to thinking a little bit, because one of the things Chuck shared was about utilizing, scanning in woodworking plans and then creating that on the 3D printer. So one of the projects I actually have going on right now is this right here. So long story short, my wife bought a new plan for the sunroom and table. So one of the things I was going to experiment with is creating sort of a coaster for the plant stand, or plant if you will. And actually I was going to cut this out on the CNC router, and I'm still going to do that, but what I'm going to do is also 3D print it. I've got some wood filament I've been itching to try, and so I've decided I'm going to do both and see how they turn out and see how they take paint and stain and all that kind of stuff, and see how it all works out. And so anyways, I designed this up. I had this actually for a while. I'm meaning to cut out, and it's just, long story short, just a 4-inch circle with some hexagons in it. I stole the hexagon idea a little bit from I Like to Make Stuff. He made some hexagon coasters, and actually I'm got something along those lines in the works. I just need to find the time. So anyways, I just took this and imported it in Tinkercad, and here we go. The one challenge we have with it, obviously, is it sits like this, is it's got some open holes. So we'll fix that in a minute. However, the concept here is condensation from the plant or whatever will fall into these holes and then, evaporate. And with wood filament, I'll probably give it a shot of polyurethane to make it watertight. So that's sort of the idea there. So anyways, let's fix this bottom problem, and that's simple to do, as what we'll do is just bring in another circle, and we'll make it the same diameter as this, and we've now done that. And then I'm going to make this 0.15, so it's just going to be thin, and then we're going to put this down here. But then what we're going to do is raise this up, and then I'm going to make this 0.135. So it's 0.5135, so I should have a good overlap. I don't want very much material, and I don't want this to be very high, and then so we're just going to go up and we're just going to quickly align all this stuff. And I think that should be good. So we'll just group this, and we should have one. I'm not liking why I have that line there. So that's 4, that's 4. Just wanted to check this out. So one of the things you notice, okay, so I've got my height here of 0.15. I'm doing this as in inches because my original design was in inches for the CNC. And then if we look here, we looked at it's 1.35 off the bed. I'm going to drop this down to 0.1.3, lower that down a bit. I typically in Tinkercad don't like it when it still shows. Sometimes it'll artifact a little bit. I want to realign this a little bit better. So I'm shows me aligned in all dimensions. Just want to make sure it is aligned before I go ahead and print this. It says I'm aligned in all dimensions, so I'm going to trust it. Boom. There we go. So anyways, we have this, and now what we're going to do is I'm going to go over to the printer. I'm going to load up some wood filament, and we're going to give this a shot and see how it prints. So let's head over to the printer. Well, welcome back. So we printed this out, at least to say there were a few issues. So tell you what, let's go watch the time lapse of this, then come back and talk about the problems I had and maybe get some feedback. So time lapse.
Now for a time-lapse video. Ready, set, let's go.
Okay, we're back from the time lapse. Now, I got to tell you, this was one. I thought this was going to end up being a simple project, and it was not a simple project. So, let's start at the beginning. Bed adhesion. Had a lot of fits and starts with bed adhesion. So I started out with the orange pad, which is still underneath the blue tape. Didn't stick really well to that. So I tried. Now it said to use a cold bed. This is Sane Smart PLA wood filament. So said you could print it between 190 and about 225. So I started out with a cold bed. I started out at 200 because it said the higher you get, the darker it would turn out. So I wanted it to turn out as dark as possible. So I went to the higher temperature and had a lot of adhesion and what I would call scalloping problems. I don't know if you can kind of see that. Has anybody seen anything like that? I've been getting a little bit of this in PLA since switching to the Micro Swiss all-metal hot end. However, this is just terrible. I think you can kind of see it in this piece. This was one of the failed ones that I stopped. So I tried printing this probably a half a dozen times, and it had a lot of warping bed adhesion issues, and you can see how warped this is on the bottom. Just really, really odd that it's so warped. Now the top came out very nice. I mean, top is, outside of the warping caused by the bottom. Top came out very nice. The material is actually very, very nice. Actually, it's more plastic-like than wood. So I don't know. A lot of the stuff I've heard on the internet is the wood stuff kind of feels like a cardboardy wood. This just feels nothing like cardboard or wood at all. This feels simply like plastic. So I don't know. Maybe I'm having issues with the filament. I did again search on the internet, and so I should add. So after trying it about 4 times, one of the things that they suggested is, so I switched to blue painter's tape before going to the internet. Stuck a little bit better. I even swabbed the blue painter's tape down with alcohol for better adhesion. That didn't work. I tried regular glue stick. That didn't work. And the internet said try Elmer's purple disappearing adhesive. So I tried that. That sort of worked, but I still did get a lot of lifting. And I decided just to let it go through and run its thing and show you guys the outcome. Because you guys need to see, I guess, the failed stuff as well as the successful stuff. And again, the scalloping on the early layers, I just don't understand what's causing that. I'm wondering, and I haven't put the dial indicator on the bed, and I probably need to do that. I'm wondering, after so many prints, if the aluminum bed here on the Wanhao hasn't become a little bit warped, and maybe it's got a dip in it.
I don't think it's got dips to match the scalloping, but I'm wondering if there's just a general dip in the center of it, because as you can see, this printed here, and this was actually towards the front. So if I turn it sort of like this is how it would be. And you can see all the scalloping right in here. So I'm just wondering if there's a dip in this bed. So I'll have to measure that, but I'm just wondering if anybody's seen anything like that, because that's really got me baffled. Again, if you watch some of my other videos, it does show up in the CNC, where I make the sides for the CNC in the top layers. I really don't know what's causing this. So now, to try to stop this, I tried to go hotter, I've tried to go colder. Again, I've tried printing this like at least 6 times, if not more. And usually what I'd let it do is get through this level, stop it, and then start all over again, because this is so... but this one, I just decided to let run and see what it would do, and then ask you guys, have you seen anything like this? Because when I watch, Chuck, Joel, and Angus, and all those guys, it just seems to be nothing to print this, again, wood filament. But again, I'm just wondering, maybe it's the batch I have or something. However, that is really, really odd. So anyways, well, I'm not going to go try this out on the planner because it's not going to work, and that's definitely not going to be allowable by my wife. But the general concept I really like, that it came out with the hexagons in here, and it sits on top, and it's got an area for it. And again, the plastic is really plasticky, so I don't know if I would actually urethane it or not. I do want to see how this stuff does take stain, so I will try some experiments in the next day or two staining it, just on these junk parts I have, just to see how it does and how it takes stain. So anyways, I don't know. I don't even know if I can ask you to give this one a thumbs up, because quite frankly, this is a bit depressing for the amount of effort I put into this. But hey, anyways, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Let me know below if you've seen the scalloping before. It seems to be a new issue. I'm actually thinking about changing my hot end back to the stock Wanhao, because I haven't had this problem with it. And again, doing regular PLA, it sort of comes and goes a little bit. So I don't know. I'm hoping somebody's out there has seen it and can share a fix. And if you have a fix to it, please share it below, and I'll do a video on it too. So others can find it and hopefully not spend a day and waste a ton of filament to print this out. So anyways, thumbs up, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.
Click like below and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date on all of our projects.